Hello and welcome to the YouGoin'Pro channel, where at this channel we help athletes develop proficiency in assisting their passion for the game they love. This is your very own host, Coach Laurie. We're going to be talking about the pros and cons of playing in junior college. And I'm pretty good at that due to the fact that I went to a couple of JUCOs, had the opportunity to go out there and play at a level that I never thought I could play. But I know JUCO now is one of those big things in the three big states that they play a lot of high school, high level sports. It's Texas is one, California and two, and the very own South Florida, Florida itself. So with that being said, let's go over the pros and cons of playing in junior college. Number one pro is when you're going to play JUCO ball versus going D1, D2, D3, whatever the case may be, NAI, the immediate things you get playing time, immediate playing time for the most part, depending on what choice you pick the junior college, because there's a lot of junior colleges that are just as good as D2 schools. It depends on the sports. So with that, junior college programs, they provide more opportunities for freshmen and sophomores, getting significant playing time that is very crucial to the developmental of going to a junior college. And also with that, the academics get the main courses done the very first 2 years to get the load a lot easier if you are a student athlete. Number two pro is developmental. JUCO allows players to grow physically and improve in their skills before transferring to that 4 year school, whatever school that may be. Developmental. The other pro, number three, is cost effective. It's extremely cost effective. Other words, it's not as expensive if you went to a 4 year for the very first year. Now, depending on the circumstances, why you going to a JUCO or versus scholarship money, academic grant, whatever the case may be. And the reason I went to a JUCO because number one was due to the fact of grades. Now, some people may go to schools due to the fact they have to, build up their GPA a little bit higher or the SAT, ACT, depending on what school you're going to. So cost effective, is normally more affordable than a 4 year, and it makes finances so much easier to make it happen and give you some hope. Because if you build your credits, if you build up your GPA, you can probably get a scholarship, even if it's not for playing. You can probably walk on and be a preferred walk on. So that's something. The reason why it's cost effective. That's the big pro. That's pro number three. Number four, the flexibility of the academic requirements. And the reason I'm saying that is because me myself, as I stated, coming from a very very big high school, I think it was a 7A or 6A school in Chicago. We had a graduating class. I think it was 800 people, if I'm not mistaken, close to 800 people. That's pretty big at a high school in Chicago. And I'm pretty sure they have some in all other states as well. So with that, I didn't do the right things to get myself in the right position. So as I stated, this is one of the pros, flexibility academic requirements. So with that being said, I had to go in there and I got on academic probation. I had to prove myself to get my grades up to par to be able to play JUCO ball and also make the team. Now, with that, you have to understand you're going to have to improve your GPA. You have to improve your grades. If you only get one shot, you might get into school, but are you going to stay in the school? So grades is extremely high requirement for the eligibility for NCAA schools or NAIA schools. Extreme. That's a good pro. The next one is this, pro number five, the transfer opportunity. Because you can only go there 2 years. So players can transfer to a 4 year without any penalty and eligibility for even the MLB draft. So with that, you can probably get drafted if you're good enough, if you have the skills to get drafted out of JUCO the second year. It's being done every year, depending on where you fall at for that transfer opportunity or go to a 4 year. So that is pro number five. The next one is pro number six. It's more practice. Other words, you get to practice on your craft and your skills, more practice time, and, get you prepared for that 4-year opportunity, or getting ready for the draft if you're good enough to make it to the draft. And that's only for baseball. I can only speak for baseball now. Basketball is a little different, but I know basketball is a little different, football is a little different. But speaking on baseball, you have more practice time. The rules allow you to practice more. You have games throughout the year, in the fall and in spring, and it provides you an ample time to hone your skills. Those are the pros of going to a junior college, and I'm speaking from experience. Now, the cons of playing at a JUCO, based on, just say you're coming from a 7A school like myself, or a 6A school, when they have all the perks, they have all these nice things, the weight room, um, everything. You got gear, you got everything you possibly need at a big school. Now, at a JUCO, not all, but a whole lot of them, the facility and resources are pretty much limited. You don't have that same type of level of facilities and resource support that you do at your high school or a Division I program. So let's think about that. Those are the things you need to be thinking about. Those are the cons. Can you deal with that? And the reason I said that, because here in South Florida, I can tell you for a fact that there's a lot of good schools with baseball, football, and basketball, and they're pretty much better than JUCOs. But what are you going for? Are you going for the bells and whistle? Are you going for the facility? Or are you going for the resource? Are you going to build your your resume, so to speak, as far as to get to that next level? So those are the cons. That's con number one, facility and resources. Con number two is the level of competition. Now, depending on the JUCO, it's highly competitive. South Florida is highly competitive. Depending on the sport, I can say Louisiana's pretty high competitive in JUCO as well. Baseball, California, Texas, and also a little bit of North Carolina. So those are some states. It just depends on where you fall at, because JUCO has different tiers. They have level 1 and level 2. So depending on where you want to fall in at, because if you're going to be a baseball player, I'm only speaking for baseball players, remember the level of JUCO you're playing versus the next level you go to. So give me an example. Just say you go to a level 2 JUCO, and then you decide to go to a D1 school. For example, just say you're going to the University of LSU, and there's a prestige baseball programs and everything they have there. But for the most part, let's just speak for baseball. And if you're at a low tier JUCO, remember the level could be a little bit more different versus a competition when you're going from JUCO to that next 4 year. Yeah, you may be good enough to play, but remember the competition is going to be a little bit different. Con number 3, exposure. Players at JUCO might not receive as much exposure compared to a 4-year to potential impact their scouting opportunities. What I'm saying is this: your exposure depends on the school, as I just stated before, depending on where you go play. Now, some JUCOs, depending on the state, like I just said, the exposure is not as much, but numbers don't lie. Numbers and film don't lie. If you can play, you can play. So just think about, those are the cons. I have a couple more. Con number 4, academic transition. Now, just for example, just say that you're going to like a prestige 4-year after you come from a JUCO. Remember, there may be some challenges academically, because you may have to take some classes over. Now, you might be good enough, your grades may be to par, let's just put it that way, and you got the GPA. But remember, there may be some classes you might not be able to, you may have to take it over or take a different class, or it may not be qualified for that next school. I went through that. I mean, I know from experience, I can't remember what it was, 120 hours or something like that to graduate. And I wound up having like 130 from experience, just taking classes that I took in JUCO, but was not equivalent to the 4-year school that you go to, depending on your major, depending on what you're going to school for. It depends on the college. So remember that academic transition is a little bit different. It's going to be challenging academically. and the requirements may be a little bit different than what you're used to. So you're going to begin to a different academic environment. Number 5, perception. There's a stigma about associated with JUCOs and is a misconception. So remember, when you come as a JUCO, you go to that next school, people may think you're a freshman. I mean, it's just the perception's a little bit different coming from a JUCO. So you just have to realize these things. There's something I just want to get you, to start thinking about. Those are the pros and cons of playing at a JUCO. This is your very own Coach Laurie. I hope you enjoyed this tonight. I hope that you can listen, execute, and dominate everything I've said today, because here at our channel, we develop proficiency. We want to assist every player in the passion for the game they love. This is Coach Laurie. I'm signing out. Leave a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe so you can be notified every time we get great content. And as I say always, listen, execute, and dominate. Have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.